The line between acceptable and unacceptable with YouTube content has always been very blurry. However, I don't think I've ever seen it be called into a huge discussion as with the Pieman and Doktor Skipper situation, which brought me into thinking about this topic and thinking realistically about where content goes from inspired to plagiarized. And I felt that would be an interesting topic for a discussion today. But before this video begins, hi, I'm HarleyTBS, I've got 16k subs and I make commentary content. I make videos every single day discussing various different topics, and if you're interested in this video, you'll definitely be interested in some of my other videos. As such, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below, and feel free to check out my other social medias like my Discord and my Twitter. That support would be appreciated, and it genuinely means a lot, as these videos take a lot of work to script and produce in a way that I feel actually represents me well and comes across quite entertaining at times. So if you are interested, I appreciate you sticking around, and let's get into the video. So throughout the many years of content creation, there's been a lot of content that's been produced, obviously. And within that content, there's been a lot of content in particular that stands out as original, and a lot of content that's very clearly stolen. From those accounts that basically re-upload MrBeast videos one-to-one without any of their own work, to those people that make 30 videos a week on Dream, there is a huge disparity between those and the original content that can be seen on the site. However, that calls into the question where it goes from uninspired and taking inspiration from other people to plagiarized and straight up milked for the creator's own benefit. Now, I've seen a lot of people that get called into question over milking topics. A lot of people talk about the whole, daily content, vegan teacher videos that a lot of people make, where they just pump out these videos about the vegan teacher every single day, and they drag it out to that 8 minutes just so that they can make their paycheck. And while I fully understand that there's a reason why people dislike those videos, and I fully understand that people do dislike those videos, my real question is, what's wrong with them? There's no real harm with them, and realistically it's someone else's channel, so they can post whatever they want, and if you dislike it, just don't watch it. However, I feel there is more of a discussion to be had when that content is either stolen, clearly from another creator, or the content is very clearly malicious in its intent from the people that make the daily drama videos on serious allegations without making it clear that they're allegations, and they don't even do enough research to even get the gender right, which isn't a shot at anyone in particular. But when you publish something online, you do have to be very careful to make sure that it's your own content and that content isn't going to harm anyone else's name or reputation. Now, with that in mind, I want to look over how, firstly, you can smear someone online by claiming something about them that is unfair, untrue, and seems malicious, and how you could theoretically steal someone else's idea and when it becomes acceptable to do so. With all of that clarified, let's get into the topic of this video. Over the last month, Pieman has been working on a video that was called the Commentary Iceberg, which is one of those Iceberg-esque videos where you discuss a topic on any sort of situation, and you basically cover a bunch of different points of interest and go over a whole situation, sharing your thoughts on it, discussing what happened, and giving a lot of important information to break it down for new viewers. Basically, they're ear candy videos that are made for people to just sit and digest when they're drawing or doing anything else that they need to relax and listen to something chill to. Doktor Skipper is a creator that has been making waves recently for their Iceberg content, in which they have broken down several things, from the Kanye West Iceberg to the Nickelodeon Iceberg to many more. Now, recently, although Pieman was working on a commentary iceberg, Doktor Skipper released a post announcing that he was also working on a commentary iceberg. Now, Pieman then very quickly responded, sharing some private DMs between him and Skipper, where he shares the fact that several weeks ago now, he'd told Skipper that he was working on a commentary iceberg, and that the iceberg that Skipper had sourced for his video was Pieman's original iceberg. Pieman claims here that Skipper had plagiarized his idea, stole his iceberg, and had then stole his idea and made a video, even though he knew that Pieman was making a video, and Pieman told him to delay his video because Pieman was working on his own video, to which Skipper said, "My bad." Now, after Pieman saw Skipper announce his video, Pieman made this post where he was basically saying that Skipper had stole his idea, and that Skipper was plagiarizing his idea even though he knew Pieman was working on a video. Now, in my opinion, I completely disagree, because Pieman posted publicly this iceberg several weeks ago on the Iceberg Charts subreddit. Knowing that, This was public domain for anyone to use. He shared this on a subreddit, and he never once said anywhere that he didn't want people to use it for a video. Now, Skipper had then put in his work after seeing it to make his own Iceberg video going off of all of these pointers. And now, to be completely clear, with these icebergs, all that Pieman has done is taken an iceberg graph and just pointed out some things from the commentary community. What Skipper has done is he's then taken those points and he's researched into them and produced his whole long form video where he gives a bunch of information about them. All he's taken is an image and expanded upon it, which, in my opinion, is when it becomes your own creative product, and it becomes completely fair use to use anyone else's iceberg in the event that you are doing your own research and producing it as your own product, or crediting the original source as long as they haven't said they have any issue with it. However, Pieman makes it out to seem like Skipper was doing this in bad faith and was stealing his idea because he knew that he would get more views off of it, and Pieman then said that he wanted Skipper to delay his video because Pieman wanted his video to come out first because Skipper's video would overshadow his. Now, in my opinion, Skipper has done nothing wrong, and he never once said in those DMs with Pieman that he wasn't going to make his video because Pieman was making his. What he said was it was his bad that they were covering the same topic. I also think it's ridiculously unfair and selfish that Pieman tells Skipper that he has to delay his video purely because Pieman was making his own video. I think that's ridiculously unfair, as Pieman posted this as public domain and has never once said people couldn't use it for their own content, and Skipper has done his own research for his own video. If Skipper can get his video out before Pieman, that's his own choice, and at the end of the day, it's his own channel where he can make his own content and do whatever he wants. I think it's unfair of Pieman to try and give Skipper any backlash based on the fact that Skipper has just done a video on something that Pieman was also making a video on, purely because Pieman was the original source of the information. That's like saying that commentary channels can't cover a situation before another YouTuber, purely because the other YouTuber sourced the information first. If Pieman genuinely didn't want people to steal this idea, he should have made it a lot clearer a lot earlier that he was working on this video, especially within that iceberg that he'd published that Skipper then saw. However, he didn't, and as such I feel like the criticism does fall back on Pieman's shoulder for not very clearly stating that he was working on his own video about it. I also don't think Skipper's done anything wrong here. He doesn't have to cancel his video or delay it or anything else, purely because Pieman is making his own video about it, and because Pieman wanted to be the first to the topic. It's Skipper's choice, and I get that it's going to negatively affect Pieman's video, but that's how YouTube works. It's not Skipper's fault that he's making a video on the same thing as you before you. It's your fault for making it public, and it feels like a very clear smear campaign when you're publishing this whole Twitter thread basically claiming that Skipper is this type of bad person and saying that he's not this nice guy that he portrays himself as. I feel like it's very unfair to start slandering a creator's name and making it seem like they did something they didn't, purely because they made a video before you or are going to make a video before you on the same thing based off of your information. I think it's a really childish discussion, and I feel like it should have been handled in private. I feel like Pieman is only really doing this for a bit of attention, and I do think it's genuinely just pretty petty. Like, I get the fact that you're annoyed, but it's his choice to make, and he chose to make the video. That's the end of the situation. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think Skipper has anything to apologize for in this situation. I know he responded by basically saying the same thing, that he never once said he wasn't going to make the video, and that Pieman shouldn't have announced this publicly beforehand on a Reddit thread otherwise. That's just my opinion though, and in my opinion, if you're new to this channel, you should subscribe! The button is down below, and you can also leave a like, and feel free to check out some of my other social media, like my Discord with almost 1,000 members, and my Twitter with almost 2,000 followers. Also, keeping that all in mind, I have a Ko-fi and a Patreon. My Ko-fi received a $200 donation recently from Ghost of Groover, and my Patreon received a $200 donation from Spy62. Thank you, both of you, for that kind of support. It means a lot, and it helps me to create this kind of content where I can just do whatever I want really for a video and not worry about how it performs. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this video. It was really just my thoughts, and if you disagree, you're free to. I'm not going to tell you what opinion you're allowed to have and what opinion you aren't allowed to have. I just genuinely think that I think it's immature of Pieman to give Skipper for something that he never once said other people couldn't make a video on. And I feel like it's unfair of Pieman to tell Skipper that he should delay his video purely because Pieman is also making a video in the same nature. Skipper can make whatever content he wants, and he shouldn't be disadvantaged purely based on the fact that he has a larger channel. He can still make whatever content he wants, and I think it's immature of Pieman to say otherwise. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Peace.
Says she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap when it like me. We can catch a fly. Said she wanna rock when it like me.